Thank you for being on the call. And I look forward to meeting you all in person in Turin in a few weeks.
Great. Thanks so much, Elisa. Okay, so let's take a look at our agenda for our call today. Um, oh, hold on. Let me get my screen set. All right. Does everybody see that agenda slide? If you don't, send me a message in chat to make sure that things are working. So today we're going to be going over travel, housing, and what you can expect while you're at Terra Madre. And as I said, we'll have lots of time for questions at the end as well. So this is our lineup. We're going to talk to you all for an hour today with a good chunk of time for questions at the end. So the first thing we want to go over is traveling internationally. So for a lot of our delegates, we know that this will be the first time. Let's see. Okay, so I am getting a note that folks are not seeing the presentation. Is anyone seeing the presentation? Can you send me a chat if you are seeing it? Okay, great. So some folks are. Okay, great. So it looks like most people are able to see it. So if you're having trouble, you may try taking a look at the settings on your computer. And we'll send this around as a PDF to delegates afterwards as well, so that you can have access to the visuals then if you need them. Great. Thanks so much, everyone, for that feedback. That's awesome. So traveling internationally, for a lot of folks, this may be your first time going abroad. So we're just going to hit some of the high points of things that you need to be thinking about and prepared for before you leave the country. First of all is make sure that your passport is current. Make sure that you have a passport. There is still time for, if you don't have one right now, to apply for an expedited passport. If your passport is expiring soon, it's a good time to take this opportunity to renew. I believe that the requirement right now is that your passport is valid at least 60 days past the time when you so please do make sure that you are valid and current on your passport. You also should take a scan or a photo of it, save it in a safe place, save it on the hard drive of your computer, save it somewhere in the cloud, in your email or elsewhere, so that should you misplace the passport itself while you're traveling abroad, you have access to a copy of it. This will help a lot if you need to go to the embassy or have it replaced. So you may also choose to carry a hard copy with you in your luggage. Some people do that as well. Okay, so staying healthy. You want to make sure you have any medications that you might need packed with you, including things like over-the-counter allergy medicines. If there are things you're particularly reliant on, you just want to make sure that you have enough of those packed along with you. Of course, there are plenty of pharmacies and all the modern needs are available in Turin. But if there's something you particularly know you like and need, or if you take any prescription medicine, do be sure to bring that. You want to bring probably a water bottle with you, and you want to make sure you're getting plenty of sleep and hydration and all of that up until you take your flight, because it can be a little stressful. Cell phone usage. So the event this year is very unique, very exciting that it will be throughout the entire city of Turin. This does mean that there is some opportunity perhaps for you to get a little turned around, and having a cell phone that you can use while you're there will be very helpful. So if you do already have a cell phone, call your carrier, see what their international package might be. I would recommend trying to get one with a little bit of data so that you can access a map in emergencies if you need to. If you aren't happy with your carrier's package, it is the law now that all cell phone companies have to provide you the ability to unlock your phone. And if you unlock it, then you could get a SIM card either ahead of time or once you're in Europe to give you an Italian number that you can use while you're there and get some data. So this is, as you might imagine, somewhat of a complicated issue. We do have some tips in the Delegate Handbook and FAQ, which goes into everything we're going to cover today in more detail, that would be useful. But I do recommend that you look into having a cell phone that you can use while you're there. If you are someone who does not like to go offline, if you want to make sure you have access to your email, things like that, there will not be internet connection guaranteed throughout the event. So especially if you're in a homestay and you really want to be able to get online, it'd be a great idea to have a data plan with your cell phone, an international data plan. Things to pack. I could go into a long list here, but we're just going to do a brief overview. You want to pack things that will keep you comfortable. So these are going to be long days. You'll be walking a lot. You'll be on your feet quite a bit. So, don't take up room with your fancy dress clothes. Make sure that you're packing things that keep you comfortable. It is northern Italy, so it will be warm, but not incredibly hot, and it could be rather chilly. So you do want to pack layers, things that will keep you comfortable in various weather. And it's a good idea to bring a day pack to have with you while you're at the event as well. What not to pack. So again, in the Delegate Handbook, you can find a list of things that are not allowed to be brought into the U.S. Things that you particularly want to avoid are meat and dairy products. Those are absolutely prohibited. You also do not want to pack things like, if you're used to carrying a pocket knife, something like this, that's also not a great idea to bring with you. But again, the Delegate Handbook and FAQ will have a lot more information on that. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to us. Okay, so now we're going to move on to talk about what happens once you've arrived. So Elisa, can you walk us through what delegates can expect when they arrive in Italy?
Sure. So transportation organized and provided by us will be provided to and from the following airports, which are Torino Caselle, the airport in Turin, Milano Linate, and Milano Malpensa, the two airports in Milan. Delegates arriving by train or by car or by bus will have to organize their transportation to and from the train stations on their own. So once we have encouraged all the delegates to get to Italy on the 21st, so which is a Wednesday. For those delegates who provided us with their flight details, we will, and we are working right now to finalize and organize the transportation to Turin. So once you will arrive at the airport in the three mentioned airports, you will, after the luggage claim area, you will find some volunteers and people wearing holding a sign with the Terra, Madre, Salone del Gusto or Slow Food writing on it. You should look for these people and check with them on which bus you will have to get on and at what time the bus will leave. So delegates arriving in Torino Caselle on the 21st by a certain time, which would be around 7 p.m. Will be taken to the Valentino Park for the registration. And from there, for those to whom we have organized the accommodation, we will organize their transportation to their accommodation. Delegates arriving after 7 p.m. in Torino Caselle will be taken to an hotel where they will spend the night, and then the following morning they will be taken to the Valentino Park for the registration. Delegates arriving in Milano Malpensa and Milano Linate until 6:30 p.m. on the 21st of September will be taken to the Valentino Park for registration, and then from there to their accommodation. Delegates arriving after 6:30 p.m. In Milano Malpensa and Milano Linate on the 21st will be taken to an hotel. They will spend the night there, and the following morning they will be taken to the Valentino Park for the registration. This is what will happen on the 21st. on the 20, for delegates arriving on the 22nd, the airport transportation will be provided and guaranteed until 12. So that delegates will be taken from the airports to the Valentino Park for registration. For those delegates who have not submitted their flight details to me or to the Slow Food USA team, or those delegates who will travel on their own, they could reach Turin by shuttle buses and by the public transportation system called SADEM, S-A-D-E-M, that has a direct bus connection from the Milano Malpensa and Torino Caselle airports to the city of Turin. Otherwise, there are taxis, and there are taxi companies that are listed and suggested on the Salone del Gusto website that you could have as a useful number. Or if you're arriving by car, you could find useful information and directions on the website as well, on the Salone del Gusto website as well. For delegates who will use the housing and the accommodation organized by Slow Food, there will be a daily transfer to and from the accommodation, and you will find the schedule and the timing every day at the hotel, and will provide you with all this information at the registration on the 21st or on the 22nd. And you will also find, and we will also share with you all this information with in the welcome back at the registration. I saw, for example, one of the questions about the arrival on the 20th in Milan. So, for example, if you're arriving on the 20th, you could spend the night at your own expense in Milan, and then meet at the airport in the morning of the 21st. But you would need to inform me about that, because I would need to know that you will be there, and we will have to wait for you at the airport.
Okay, great. So I see we're getting a lot of pretty specific questions in, and we will try to cover all of this. So if you can hang on to those, it's a little hard for us to keep up and give the presentation at the same time. So
Yeah,
we have lots of time for questions at the end. So if you have specific questions about this, we'll try to keep up with you, or do make a note in case they don't get covered as we go through the presentation. So Elisa, do you want to talk a little bit just about transportation to and from the sponsored delegate housing?
Yes, so delegates will have transportation to and from their housing in the morning, so that they will get to the Valentino Park by 9 or 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And then in the evenings, there will be buses taking delegates back to their accommodation. So if a delegate, well, for delegates staying in homestays, buses, the buses will take back to their accommodation will leave at 7 p.m. from the Valentino Park, and those delegates will have dinner at their homestays with their host families. delegates staying in a hotel will have dinner in the Terra Madre canteen, and will have to catch their bus back to their accommodation at 9 p.m. in the evening. And the buses will always leave from the Valentino Park, and there will be like signs that will identify the bus parking area and where the buses will arrive and leave. For those delegates who will be staying with host families in Turin, or for those youth delegates who will be staying in a youth hostel in Turin, they would be provided with like a ticket for the public transportation in Turin, so that they could reach their accommodation on their own, or if they're staying with a host family, they could organize themselves with the family and meet with the family or make up plans with them directly, so that you can eventually have dinner together.
Great. All right. Was there anything else you'd like to say on this bit, Elisa? Or shall we move on to housing and accommodations?
I think we can move ahead.
Okay.
And then if there are specific questions, we can take them afterwards.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds great. Okay. So housing. So let's talk, sorry, I'm also trying to keep up with the chat. I'm just going to focus on talking about housing for a bit. So Elisa's going to walk us through, I know a very hot question for everyone is, when will you know where you're staying? And we'll talk a little bit about what you can expect from your accommodations as well, and how to prepare to be happy and comfortable there.
Okay, so we are working right now to finalize the housing assignments, and I hope that to be able to provide delegates with the information on where you will be staying by the end of the month, at least providing you with the name of the place or the name of the host family you will be staying with. So a couple of weeks of patience, and you will get this information. There are basically 3 types of housing that you might get. So there might be delegates staying in a hotel that will not be an hotel that will be in Turin and walking distance from the Valentino Park, but there will be you will have to take a bus to get to the hotel. There will be delegates staying with host families, both in Turin and both in nearby or neighbor towns and cities. So those delegates staying with host families in Turin can eventually walk to their homes, or they might take the public transportation in Turin. The delegates staying with host families in nearby or neighbor cities will have to take the bus to get back to the accommodation. And there's also a group of youth delegates who will be staying in a youth hostel in Turin, together with other youth delegates from other countries. So these are basically the 3 types of accommodation. We tried as much as possible to accommodate and to follow the requests or preferences that you indicated in the flight and housing forms that you have returned to me or to Slow Food USA. So we also tried to match the roommate assignments with your preferences and with your information shown in the flight and housing forms. Information about the accommodation, so will also be shown and printed on the Terra Madre Delegate badge that you will receive at the registration desk upon your arrival. So in case of any problem or issue, please let us know as soon as possible, and so that we can see if we can solve or find a solution for the issue.
And Elisa, I'm going to interrupt you just really quickly to help with some clarifying. So in the US, we do have a little bit of a different setup than many of the other countries. So we have we've had the opportunity this year to have two types of delegates who are taking the sponsored delegates, taking advantage of this limited opportunity that Slow Food International has, the limited ability that they have to be able to provide ground transportation, meals, and housing to a number of people so that they are able to attend. We also have the opportunity to have self-paying delegates. These are delegates who have the ability to do those things themselves, have the financial means or the ability to fundraise, to be able to arrange their own accommodation, housing, ground transportation, and travel. So when we're talking about the housing assignments and the travel assignments, then we are specifically talking about the sponsored delegates, the delegates who are being sponsored by Slow Food International, and not the self-paying delegates who do need to arrange for those bits on their own, just to clarify. Okay, so Elisa, is there anything else you would like to say about the various types of housing or the roommate assignments? Oops, sorry, I think I have you muted. Sorry. Let's try again.
Sorry, I didn't get your question because the sound went out.
No problem. So is there anything else you'd like to say about the types of housing or about the roommate assignments?
So for the roommate assignments, we try to follow and respect as much as possible the indication that the sponsor delegate indicated on the flight and housing forms. For those delegates staying with families, of course, speaking Italian is not one of the requirements. Most of the families do speak English, and we try to match and to include and to have English-speaking delegates in families where there are at least one person speaking English. So that should not be one of the needed requirement. Of course, staying with a host family is a great experience, but it also requires a little bit of flexibility in terms of what you should expect. So you will share spaces with the host families, but you will also have the opportunity to get in contact with them and share meals with them and get in contact with a different culture or a different attitudes. So it has always been a great experience for the majority of the delegates, and I hope this will be the same for this year.
Great, thanks, Elisa. And I want to talk a little bit also about again, some self-care, making sure that you are prepared to be as comfortable as you can, knowing that you will be sharing a room with someone. You may consider bringing an eye mask or earplugs to help you get the quiet that you like. If you are staying in a homestay and you have specific toiletries that you like, or if you might want to bring a washcloth or a towel, something like that, things you know that you need, then that would be a good idea to think about what will help to make you comfortable. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit now about registration. What happens when you arrive at the event venue? As Elisa mentioned earlier, if you are a sponsored delegate, you will be brought to the registration either when you arrive or the morning after you arrive. So, Elisa, if you could talk a little bit about what to expect from the registration process and the badges folks are going to receive, that type of thing.
Okay, so the registration area will be located in the Parco del Valentino, more specifically in one of the buildings that is called Torino Esposizioni, in the pavilion number 2, but you will see signs and we'll make sure that everyone will find the registration area. The registration desks will be divided by continent and then by country. So once you will get in the area, you will find a series of desks, and you should direct to the North America area and look for the U.S. Desk. Probably we will have 2 or 3 desks, and we'll divide them by probably in alphabetical order. So we'll ask delegates from whose last name is from A to G to go to one desk, and the other one from delegates whose last name is from G to O to another desk, and so forth. But we'll send you this specific information later on for sure. At the registration desk, you will find someone from the Slow Food USA staff and volunteers who will welcome you in Turin, and they will provide you and will get you the delegate badge with your name, the country, and the information about your accommodation and the last transfer back to the airport for your departure for sponsored delegates. So as sponsored delegates will also receive a welcome bag with a useful information package in order to help them navigate the logistics of being a sponsored delegate in terms of accommodation, meeting points, buses, and transportation. As Megan mentioned earlier, there are basically two types of badges and passes. So the sponsored delegates will receive a red pass, which will have the information about their accommodation and the last transfer for their departure printed on it. And this pass will also grant access to the canteen for the 5 days of the event. Self-paying delegates will receive a blue delegate badge, which will have their name on it, as well as the country, and this pass will not grant the access to the canteen, but both passes, so the red and the blue one, will grant access to the Terra Madre forums and meetings in the Valentino Park. At the registration desk area, you will also find the luggage storage, where you could take your luggage and leave your luggage there upon your arrival. So on the 21st and on the 22nd as well. Please remember to take it back with you once you will take your bus back to your accommodation. The luggage storage will also be open and accessible in the other days of the event as well, and it will always be located in the same place, so at the registration area. And the luggage storage is available to both types of delegate.
Great. All right, great. Thanks, Elisa. So that will all become much clearer once you're there. It can feel a little overwhelming. There are 3,000 delegates coming from around the world to participate who will all be registering in this space. So it can be a very exciting space as well. And there will be, as Elisa said, a Slow Food USA representative at the registration also. So that is a good way to get information and to get the assistance you need when you arrive and register. Okay.
Can I jump in and
yes,
just
please, go ahead.
Answer the last question? The 400 euros donation delegates will receive the red delegate status. So the same badge and the same status as the sponsor delegates.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that. That's great. Okay. So talking about delegate activities, and I'll just reiterate, a lot of these questions are anticipating things that we're really keen to talk to you about. So we'll get to that as soon as we can. So delegate activities. So one really important one we want to make sure that you all mark on your calendars is our national meeting on the first day of the event, Thursday, September 22nd, from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And this will be happening in the yellow room. My Italian is terrible, so I won't try to pronounce it. In Torino Esposizione, which is in Valentino Park, part of the University of Turin. This will be, as it says, a 2-hour meeting in which you will hear from various leaders of the slow food movement in the US. We hope you come ready to share your own experience, your own vision, and your own story of what has brought you to Terra Madre and what you hope to add to the slow food movement, how you hope to grow in your leadership of that movement. We are still finalizing the speakers, but I can tell you it's going to be some really, really exciting luminaries, some faces that will probably be familiar to you. This is also a great opportunity for you to meet your fellow delegates. One of the most important outcomes from Terra Madre is to meet people who are doing work that inspires you and to inspire people yourself. Meeting these people that first afternoon, Thursday afternoon at 4:30, will also give you the opportunity to build those relationships over the following 4 days. So we really hope that you make a priority of attending this. It is expected of all delegates, both self-paying and sponsored delegates. All delegates are expected to attend. All right, so talking about some of the activities that you will participate in, that you have access to as a delegate to Terra Madre. Both types of delegates have full access to the Terra Madre forums. This is not only a benefit, but something that we really expect you to take part in. This is a space in which the delegates are able to connect with each other around important topics that have been suggested from across the global slow food network. There will be assigned speakers in them, but they are really to be thought of more as leaders of these discussions. They will be not so formal. You should go to any to which you wish to add your voice, as well as to forums where you wish to learn. If you are traveling with someone who is not a delegate, who does not have delegate status, but who wants to attend some of these forums, there will be access available to the public based on availability. So once all of the delegates who want to join the forum have, then if there is still room, then the public will be allowed to join as well. And yes, I'm really excited. The programming for these looks really incredible. The themes have been set. The speakers are still being finalized, but you can find these programs on the internet. On the websites. All right. So conferences, Elisa, if you could clarify a bit, this has been another question we've had, the difference between the conferences and the Terra Madre forums. And the conferences will be happening at the Carignano Theater in the center of Turin. And I believe Elisa can speak a little to what we should expect from those.
Okay. The Terra Madre forums are the informal meetings of the Terra Madre network. So they will be mostly dedicated to and open to the network and to the Terra Madre delegates. But as Megan mentioned, the public can also access it upon availability. And the Terra Madre forums will take place in the Valentino Park in the two venues, the Castello del Valentino and Torino Esposizioni, and you can find the schedule and program on the Salone del Gusto Terra Madre website. The conferences that will be held in the Carignano Theater, which is in the Turin city center, maybe half an hour walk from the Valentino Park, are more formal conferences with one moderator and maybe 1, 2, or 3 speakers. Most of the times, VIP speakers or relevant speakers who have specific experience or project. So, for example, we have conferences involving Carlo Petrini, Alice Waters, Ron Finlay, Marion Nessel, and these are conferences that are ticketed. So for the general public, these are ticketed events that can be bought online on the Salone del Gusto and Terra Madre website. For those conferences, we have reserved roughly 200 seats for delegates, meaning both sponsored and self-paying delegates. So for each conference, we have this availability of 200 seats that are available for delegates. In order to get a place and a seat, you will have to collect an entrance ticket at the registration area at one of the registration desks. So you will be able to get a ticket for a free ticket for the entrance for the free entrance at the conference at the conferences on the day of the conference at the registration area. So we have the availability of these 200 seats. So of course we'll not be able to have all the delegates attend all the conferences, but we gave the opportunity, and we are giving this opportunity for delegates to sign up and to collect this entrance ticket. But if you're really willing to get to one of the conference and you are afraid not to find one of the available delegate seats, I would probably recommend to go on the website and get one of the seat and ticket just to make sure and to be sure you will have a seat there.
Great. Thank you. That's a really, really helpful clarification. So we do have a lot of questions about the canteen and meal options for the delegates. So sponsored delegates, the delegates with the red passes, do have full and free access to the canteen for their meals. It will be open for lunch and for dinner. Delegates who are staying, sponsored delegates who are staying in homestays will be expected to join their host family for dinner in order to help to build that connection, to share your culture and to learn more about each other. There are many eating options at Terra Madre Salone del Gusto. Besides the multitudes of various vendors and tastings that are available in the marketplace, you will also have the ability to enjoy meals from the Terra Madre kitchens, which feature chefs from across the Slow Food Chefs Alliance, preparing foods that are representative of their home. These are available for purchase. There's also, I believe, Elise, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there is going to be also a wonderful street food area where you can enjoy really traditional pizza, things like this. And I know there had been some discussion, and Elisa, I apologize, I think we haven't had a chance to follow up about this, of the possibility of people purchasing tickets to be able to eat in the canteen if they would like to, so that if they are traveling with someone who is a sponsor delegate and wants to take advantage of that canteen, that they can join them.
Yes,
Can you talk to that if that's going to be a possibility?
yes, that will be one of the possibilities. So the self-sponsored delegates or people traveling with the sponsored or the red passes delegates will have the possibility to purchase a ticket and the meal at the canteen and eat together with the other delegates. So this will be one option, and otherwise you could choose to enjoy one of the many possibilities in the market area or in the street food area or at the Enoteca area.
That's right. And, you know, Catherine Underwood, who has been a delegate previously, and we're very happy to have joining us again, makes a really good point, which is that there are many opportunities to meet and connect with the delegates. And we're going to talk a little bit about some specifics in just a second. And this beautiful open format being in the park also, I know I'm really looking forward to sharing some picnic meals with all of you once we are there.
Right. One of the things that we are hoping to have is like long community tables that we are hoping to be able to put on in the park so that people can share their meals or what they have just bought at the market with visitors, with the Turin citizens, or with other delegates in a very informal and in an outdoor location.
Great. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what to do if you need help. If you are, if for any reason you find that you're needing assistance with any problem, big or small, there are lots and lots of people there ready to help with things specific to this event, and also just any other if you're having health needs or something like this. So these are the places to go to get help when you are at Terra Madre. You want to look for the delegate help desk. This will be in the registration area. Once registration is complete after Thursday evening, then this area will also turn into a support center for delegates. So this is a great place to go to get support from people who are working for Slow Food, who are familiar with the event, familiar with the city, and can really give you great assistance. Another great place to go, of course, is to the Slow Food USA booth. This will be in the marketplace in Parco Valentino. The booth number is L040, and there will be Slow Food USA staff there at all times that the market is open, which is from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The staff will be there, and that's a good place to go and get support. Located all throughout the event will be various info points, and these should be recognizable via signage and everything else. I was so excited about you visiting the booth. I put it into the presentation twice. So you see, you have to come by the Slow Food USA booth. You will also be receiving phone numbers in your welcome bags. You will get a phone number at which you can contact the Slow Food USA staff. This will be a dedicated line for Terra Madre. And you will also get Elisa's phone number. These will be given to you when you arrive at registration, so that you can call and be sure to get someone in case of an emergency. Okay, so let's talk about workshops, tastings, and the other public opportunities that are available. So, if you've visited the SaloneDelGusto.com website and gone to the events page, you have surely seen the incredible array of offerings that there will be for this edition of Terra Madre Salone del Gusto. This edition moving into the streets, really embracing the public, inviting the public to take part in slow food, is a great evolution of the event. And these ticketed workshops and tastings are meant as these public offerings. So you should buy those tickets in advance if you would like to do it. Please do pay careful attention to the location and the timing of those events. If you look on a map, you will see that some of them happen in various locations across the city of Turin, and some even occur in Bra, which is where the headquarters of Slow Food International is, but which is quite a distance from Turin itself, which would require a car hire or some good planning in order to be able to use public transit to get there. So do think about that. Think about the transportation to these ticketed events. You can see more of these options on the SaloneDelGusto.com website, the link that was shared earlier in the chat, and that is available on that homepage for how to get around Turin and how to get between events. The other thing to think about that I would really encourage you as delegates to specifically consider when you're attending this is that you don't want to overbook yourself. There will be so many ad hoc opportunities, so much public free programming as part of the event that is not listed in the schedule that you will really want to take advantage of. So make sure and leave yourself plenty of room for the serendipity of this event and in order to be able to connect with other people. All right. So yes, making connections. This is probably the key reason that we organize this huge, crazy, amazing event is to build this global solidarity for slow food. So while you are there, come with an open mind, come as a global citizen, come prepared to tell your story and to hear the stories of others who have traveled halfway around the world just to meet you. We are trying to help create some of this space ourselves in addition to the national meeting. We will also have themed BYOB aperitivo hours at the Slow Food USA booth. So from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we hope that you'll come, bring a beverage that you would like to enjoy and share. We'll have snacks set out for everyone. And we will have some hosts who are particularly active in these various initiatives of slow food and slow fish, the Arc of Taste, and slow meat. So this will be a great time to meet other people who share your interests and to connect with folks from the US and from all around the world. So we hope that you'll consider that as part of your evening plans. Okay, and we wanted to talk about things that you simply must not miss, and one of those are the thematic areas that will be set up throughout the city. And Elisa, if you don't mind, I'd like to hand this back to you because I know you've got some of the backstage on the planning of these and are particularly excited to see them. And Elisa, you're on mute right now. If you there you go. Yeah.
Sorry. It's getting a little bit late here, so so there will be some thematic areas where the delegates, the network, and the public will be able to develop and get a deeper insight on specific issue and theme. The thematic areas will be the ones listed in the presentation. So there will be a whole program dedicated to migrants and refugees that will have a series of meetings and workshops that will take place in the San Salvario neighborhood, which is the neighborhood just across the street, the Valentino Park. There will be then an indigenous Terra Madre and issues area that will be located in the Valentino Park. Where we will involve and engage the indigenous communities from our network from all over the world. there will be an honey and bees area located in Via Po, which is one of the historical street in Turin, where beekeepers and from different countries and continents will be able to meet, exchange experiences, and taste their honeys. There will be the Slowfish room in the Valentino Park, right across the River Po, with a program specifically focused on fish issues. And then there will be two areas. There will be more as a educational path about slow meat and biodiversity. One of them, we don't know yet which one will be in the Valentino Park, and the other one will be in Piazza Castello and Via Roma, so in the other main area of the event. You will be able to find the full programs of this, or at least for many of them, on the Salone del Gusto website, and you will also receive, and you will also have this programs printed and available at the event in Turin. So where you will find the name of the title of the workshop and meeting and forum, the time, and the location.
Great. Great. And then we have a question about volunteering with the thematic areas, Elisa, and I wonder, is that a possibility? We'd certainly love, Kate, to have you volunteer at the booth during our Slowfish themed evening, but for the thematic areas, is there a desire for people to support and volunteer with that?
So for like official volunteers, we'll have to go through like a more formal and official like registration thing, and we'll only be able to take mostly Italian people. But for sure, I think that it would be great to have some like key people who could help the coordinators of this thematic areas and rooms. And I'm sure that, for example, for Slowfish, Michelle Mesmen, I think some of you knows her, would be happy to receive the support of some of the most active delegates in maybe leading some of the discussions and helping coaching people and getting ready for the workshops.
Great. So I think if you would like specifically to volunteer in a special part of programming, please send an email to Terra Madre at slowfoodusa.org, and we'll forward that along to Elisa, and she can share it with her colleagues who can help you to arrange it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So and an experience absolutely not to miss is being in the city of Turin itself. It is an incredible historic city, really absolutely beautiful streets, beautiful people, very warm, and gorgeous place. So make sure that you give yourself some time between events to see the city as well. You may want to download the Slow Food Planet app that will have recommendations of various places throughout the city that you can visit. Many of the events that are programmed are also happening in incredible historic spaces like the Egyptian Museum and the Borgo the medieval village. I've been reading all these things, so I think I can pronounce them, but I'm not quite there yet. So you will see really stunning, gorgeous things throughout the city. You may also want to consider downloading a map of Turin onto your phone that does not need a Wi-Fi connection, or getting a paper map from one of the tourist centers to help you to navigate it. It's an incredibly walkable city, incredibly welcoming, and the public transit is very simple and very good as well. So we would certainly recommend that. Okay, so we didn't do too badly. We got through quite a lot of information here, and there is lots more specifics and details to help you out in planning your travels in the Delegate Handbook. And you can access that. It has hopefully arrived in your email inbox. It is also available on our website for you to download. And we will be making some updates to it and sending updated information throughout the next few weeks as we prepare. So keep an eye on your inbox, make sure you're receiving messages from us, and also join the Facebook group for delegates to help connect with your fellow delegates as well. This is, as you can imagine, quite an incredible thing to get to be a part of. And also quite an incredible undertaking. So we are very grateful for the help of past and present delegates in supporting each other and making this a really valuable experience for everyone. So, okay, so now we're going to take some specific questions. So you are free to go ahead and type them into the chat box here, and we'll take what we can. Okay, so Jana asks, can she send honey for sampling? She's not sure she can fly with it. Jana, I think you can probably fly with it in your checked luggage. I understand the liquids might be difficult, but Elisa, is there an option to mail
I think
it?
that the best way, and I flew with honey before
Yeah,
to and from the US as well.
yeah.
In my checked luggage, of course. So if you can send like 1 or 2 jars of honey, it shouldn't be too difficult to travel with it.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. And Janet, checked luggage is a good idea.
Checked luggage,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's see. Bhavani asks, do you
And
know? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Elisa.
sorry, no. You can download a PDF from the Salone del Gusto website with all the scheduled events. So both the ticketed events and the Terra Madre forums, so the free ones.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh, Catherine, you are full of excellent advice. I'm going to say some out loud just in case people are listening to the recording later. Bring bubble wrap with you in order to protect the things you pack and take home.
Sure.
Great. That is a really good tip. Excellent. And then I also would like to say, we really are hoping that everyone has seen our call for volunteers at the Slow Food USA booth. We are eager to have you participate in the producer pop-ups there to sample out things like the honey from your fabulous hives, Jana, or Anna, if you can fit a pumpkin into your luggage, we'd love to see some of that arrive with you and be shared with the international community. And we will be sending out a letter for you to include in your luggage. So in case there are any questions, about why you're bringing it, there will be a letter explaining that you are coming as an educational, a cultural exchange to share this food and not to sell it. So you can look for that in your inbox as well.
To respond to Bhavani question about the price for purchasing a ticket to the canteen, I don't know the exact price at the moment, but it will definitely be less than 10 euros per meal, of course. Sorry.
Great, perfect. I have some great questions from Nancy and Rachel about volunteering at the booth. So, Nancy, as far as food gifts to share and how many samples to bring, each of the pop-up slots is an hour long, and I think if you brought enough to sample out to maybe 50 to 100 people, that would be about the right amount. Attendance at this event historically is incredibly high. And people will be very curious to see things coming from the U.S. as well. So if you're able to bring that would be a great idea. Rachel, should you sign up for a second shift? Yes, sign up for as many shifts as you like. There are still so many open. Please, please do sign up. We're really excited to have as many people participate as possible and to really enliven the booth and show the world what slow food looks like in the U.S. by helping them to connect with our delegates. Okay.
Back to the canteen thing. Unfortunately, there is not a way to buy like a multi-day pass for the canteen, so you will have to buy the ticket every time, unfortunately.
Okay, great. Um, Hannah asks, should we nominate things to the Arc of Taste? Yes, absolutely. There is no deadline to do it, and it is one of the commitments that delegates have made to nominate foods from their region to the Arc of Taste. There is lots of info available on the Slow Food USA website about the Arc of Taste, www.slowfoodusa.org, and you want to look under initiatives in that top menu bar there and just scroll down to the Arc of Taste, and you'll find information on nominations, and all the rest of it. So yes, we've been receiving lots of very exciting suggestions for nominations and nominations from the delegates. So please do if there's something that needs protecting in your region. Um, as to the AV question, there's a question as to whether AV will be available on. Whether AV will be available at the booth, and in the Slow Food USA booth, there will not be AV available. Okay. Sorry, Elisa, did you see one you wanted to address?
No. They're the same. The
Okay.
same one. So.
Let's see. Switching shifts for volunteering. You should be able to switch using the online page. Though I know we did lock Thursday because we had so many volunteers, and there shouldn't be a shift on that page that's happening during the national meeting. I will double check that to make sure. And if there is, I apologize, there's an error. So Lauren, we certainly will follow up. And if we need to reschedule your shift, we'll help you to do that. But there shouldn't be shifts scheduled during that time. I'll double check and see if that's the case. Okay. This is a great question, Hannah. When is the conference officially over? It is over on Monday at 7 p.m. is the official end of the event. Things will slow down a bit towards the end of the day on Monday, but there will be a full day of programming on Monday to participate in. Let's see. Folks are asking about coupons for the Slow Food Planet app. This is news to me. I don't know anything about this. Elisa, do you know anything about coupons that are needed in order to get the app?
We are thinking, but it's not. It might be a possibility, but it's not yet defined because we're still trying to understand how to do that. But we'll certainly provide information at the registration desk on how to download the Slow Food Planet app when you will get to Turin.
I see it specifically for Italy access. I see. Okay, I see.
Yeah, because you will have to get to to be online. So to access either a Wi-Fi or to be online. So.
Okay.
And unfortunately, there's no Wi-Fi connection in the Valentino Park. So there's actually like a Wi-Fi provided by the city of Turin, but we do not have like control over it. So it might work okay, but due to the amount of people that will try to access it and get online, it might be slow or might not work as expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So do think about getting that data plan for your phone. So I know we've gone 5 minutes over, so I'm going to take just a couple more questions out of this, and you absolutely can email Terra Madre at slowfoodusa.org with any other questions you may have. We'd be happy to help you out. So Elisa, do we know yet where the press area will be?
Very probably it will be in the Castello del Valentino, which is one of the buildings in the Valentino Park, on one of the floors. So it will be there. Great.
Okay, great. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today, Elisa, and for calling in from Italy. And thank you to Anna, who has called in all the way from Hawaii. I think those are the two far ends of our space that have joined us on this call today. And I'd like to end with a thought from Joel, which is really, I think, a great summary of what to expect, what to expect as a delegate. He says, to get the most out of the Terra Madre experience, you've got to get out of your comfort zone, start conversations with delegates from other parts of the world. Don't worry about language barriers. Terra Madre delegates always manage to find out ways to communicate with each other. These remarkable relationships are what we will both carry back to your communities. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. This link will be shared with you. Please do check out the Slow Food USA website. Participate in Terra Madre page. You will be able to find lots of information signing up to be a volunteer, and hopefully other things that will be helpful to you. And we will see you all in just a few weeks in Italy. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Elisa. Okay, I'm gonna unmute everybody, and on the count of three, let's all say ciao. Ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.